Hi, sellers. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in. Let's talk. I have been testing this and testing this and testing this, and I'm so excited to share this with you because what I'm going to be sharing with you is how to discover hot niches to sell, whether you're selling on eBay, Etsy, Amazon, but more specifically on eBay. But you can certainly use the information for any sales platform, including your own website. But first of all, let me know that you can hear me. Say hello, so then I know everything is good. And you know me, we will jump right in. Hey, Nick, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me so much. So this is what I want to say is, a lot of times I go into Facebook groups and also seeing on social media, on Twitter and other places, is people coming in and just going, oh, I'm just having a really slow period. I don't know what to do. I've got my listings up, but nothing seems to be really happening. Is you have to stay on top of what is current, of what is selling now. And I know this can be challenging because a lot of what is called a solopreneur, it's just us. I mean, we might have a partner or a spouse or some family members helping. And, yay, if you've got a warehouse and employees, but oftentimes if you have a really large business, it can feel like even more responsibility on you because you've got a huge overhead that you're going to have to deal with. And even if you're a consignment seller, consignment is great because you're taking other people's items, but you're still the one that is doing the listings and you're still the one that has to answer the customer service questions. And if you are doing consignment, you want to make sure that you're taking on items that are in demand, and you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up to get a large enough profit margin. So back to hot niches. Again, when you're in groups, or even for yourself, because we all go through periods where things can get slow and it can get very discouraging. I totally hear you. Is you've got to go on and you've got to check prices. And if you are competitively priced, then you've got to check solds. I was just checking an inventory line that I carry that normally sells at a pretty good clip, and for some reason it's gotten really, really sluggish. And I went in and it is selling. And for some reason, mine are not selling. So I'm going to double back in. I'm going to look at the competitors that are selling. I'm going to really look at their keywords and see if they're doing something that I'm not doing. And when I have done, because doing that's going to take me like half an hour, 45 minutes, I'll probably get to it tomorrow. I did a big push out on social media. Okay, so I repinned it on Pinterest, I pushed it out on Twitter, I put it on my Facebook business page, and I've already gotten a sale in that category, so that's good. So sometimes when things get slow, and I was working with another seller on this, you just need to push it out on social media. And the reason to push things out on social media is because it helps it to get indexed on Google. Yes, you're getting customer eyeballs, which you really, really want, but it also helps the Google spiders to pick you up. So you definitely want to do that. But back to sourcing hot niche products. One, when people are talking about things in Facebook groups, so let's say they say my Dasani water bottle, let's say they say the water bottle is really, really hot. If it is something that is readily available to people, like it's really easy to get, like everybody can just run to the corner Walmart or Target and get it, be careful, because that means that a lot of people are going to run out and get it. The item may be at a certain price now, but because these dozens and hundreds or potentially thousands of sellers are going to run out and get it, you're going to see the price change. And if it's something that you're ordering online or something that you're even going into a retail store and buying, that day or two of you going to the store, getting the item, getting it home, and then getting it photographed and then posting it, the prices can change like that. So if something is being broadly promoted as something that's a hot item, be careful, because you're going to see the price most likely go dramatically down. Now, that being said, if it's an item that's relatively hard to get, highly collectible items fall into this category, and it's something that you can find because you have great flea markets or great antique stores, and for whatever reason, it's underpriced, so you can get it, yay. But this is what I have found is great for finding hot niche products, because what I'm after is, I don't want the broad I can't even talk, the broad brand. So I don't want to compete on things like a Coach, okay? Because there's thousands of Coach purses. And also because with something like a brand like Coach, you really got to be careful as far as authenticity. I want to find a micro niche brand within handbags or within women's clothing or within men's clothing or within children's toys that sells well and that's a little bit under the radar, that not everybody's going after. Because if everybody's going after it, you really start to nickel and dime each other. You know, you're constantly, fighting on prices and things like that. So what you're looking for is something that's going to be a nice little seller for you and make you some nice money, and that you're not going to be competing with thousands and thousands of sellers, and also that you're not going to be competing with big sellers that can buy things in huge quantities and really drive the price down. So this is what I found is, as you're in groups and as you're out about shopping, you will see things. So let's say it is a Coach. So let's say I notice this one Coach purse is really, really hot right now, is go on the internet and type in Coach, or if you even know the name of the bag, I'm going to make something up. Let's say it's a Tiffany bag. So Coach Tiffany bag, and then type in Versus, VS, and then hit search and see what comes up. You can do this with anything. So Under Armour, any big brand, any type of item. If it's a certain kind of thing like a hobo purse or a cowl top, cashmere sweater, you can do this with collectible, Fenton glass. I mean, anything like that, type it and then Versus. And see what comes up. It's going to be competitor brands. It's going to be competitor items. Make a list. Then you're going to hop over to eBay or wherever you're looking and take a look. Just because it shows up in search does not mean it's going to be a hot item to sell. Search it. Does it sell? If it does sell, yay. Write it down and keep going. You're going to want to get about half a dozen things. Do this on big brands. Do this on collectible items. Once you have your list, then the work becomes to get the sources. But for instance, let's say you do a lot of retail arbitrage. So you're in outlet malls a lot, or you're in Macy's a lot. You're in Nordstrom Rack. You're in Target. You're in all these various stores. Then you're going to go and look for those specific items. Now, while you're researching, so let's say I'm searching Under Armour, I'm searching Coach, I'm searching Nike, and I'm finding these five or six really good competitors for those brands that I have found to be very, very popular and good sellers. And then I get those competitor brands and I find they really do sell very nicely on eBay, and there's not a million people selling them, because that's the other thing you're looking for. Then you start to look for sources for inventory. If it is a more niched brand, something that's not so widely available, search it. Search for retailers in your area. When you're in thrift shops, consignment shops, outlets, look for it. You might have a general sporting goods store. You might have things where it's a general shoe store that carries multiple brands. Go in there and look and see if they carry the brand that you're looking for. Okay? So you're going to take the thing that you know to be very, very popular. You're going to be hopping on the internet and typing in Versus, and then you're going to get a nice list. Once you have that nice list, you're then going to go back on the internet and you're going to start to search for retailers. And if you type in Market, M-A-R-K-E-T, in the thread, I'm going to send you some great tips for finding more niches and more ways to source once you have the niche. Because it's one thing to discover something that you know is going to be a good seller. Then the next step is, gosh, how do I get a source for this at a good price, right? It's always two parts. So type in Market, M-A-R-K-E-T, in the thread below, and I'm going to send you tips that I have tested and work. So again, to go over what you're looking for is you've got to stay on top of what's selling. This is so hard. I do it too. It's like, because your emotions get involved. Something can have been a great seller for you 2 or 3 years ago, and you made great money. I've made this mistake. And then you'll see it in a store. You know, I'll see it when I'm at Macy's, or I'll see it when I'm at Nordstrom's, or I'll see it in a thrift shop, and I grab it and I forget to research because I made $30 on it or $50 on it a year or two, and I grab it and I run home with it. And guess what? It doesn't sell for that anymore. So always stay on top of what is current. If you're on eBay, it's great because you can do eBay advanced search sold. And I've got a YouTube on that, so you can hop and look at that. So to check the prices. If you're more professional seller, TerraPeak's data is superb because depending on your subscription level, it goes back 1, 2, or 3 years. You want great product lines, then you want a sub niche within the product line. If you have access to a big brand, which is great. So let's say you've got access to an Under Armour or a Nike or an Adidas or a Kate Spade that's authentic. That is fantastic. So once you have that big brand, let's say you have just great outlet malls near you, or you've got friends that are shopaholics that are giving you stuff to sell for them. Is once you have that big brand, I actually was doing this. I was researching something for a seller friend. So I was researching a big brand. I think it was Adidas. So I'm looking and looking and looking. It was an Adidas jacket. I found a really interesting sub niche in Adidas that I had never seen before. I got it on one of my inventory lists. And I went, aha, how interesting. I am going to keep my eye out for that because when I went on eBay, it sold and not a lot of people have it. So always keep an eye out, the big overall category. And then when you're checking solds, be very alert to, oh, that sells. I didn't even notice that. So perhaps I'm sorting through and looking at purses, and what I'm noticing is the wristlets really sell. The coin purse really sells. The wallet really sells. Or, oh, the wallet doesn't sell, but the coin purse really sells. Write those notes down. It really matters. And if you discover that the coin purse really sells, then go on the internet, type in whatever the brand or the style is, versus, and see what gets populated, see what comes up. I am betting you anything it'll be brands and styles and things that you absolutely never heard of, because it's just not something that you have that much experience with. There's nothing wrong with that. I've also got tips if you type in market, M-A-R-K-E-T. If you have a big product line that you're doing really well in, and if you are, yay, of how to go within that product line and find more pieces where you can get some more lucrative profits. Because often what happens is we'll discover a product line, back to Adidas, let's say Adidas t-shirts, and so I'm just selling them, and I don't take the time to investigate other things. You're looking for sub niches. You're looking for things that a million sellers aren't into. And when you do discover it, keep it to yourself. Enjoy your profits. List it and sell it and enjoy the profit. And while you're listing and selling, and this is the thing that's hard as a solopreneur, you've got to keep researching and you've got to keep looking for other niches and product lines that you can get into. And my tips for you, market, M-A-R-K-E-T, will do that. So you're going to need to have time for your listing unless you're outsourcing it. You need to have time for your social media because you want to push it out. But you always want to budget time, and you only need maybe half an hour a week. This does not have to gobble up a lot of time. But you do want to spend time regularly, and it may not be every week depending on your schedule, but you do want to spend time at least monthly, an hour or two, checking new product lines, checking new niches, checking new things that could be making you money, looking avidly for sources for the inventory. I make it a point when I am out and about to check new stores. And even if you're an area with very limited stores, you can do this because you would be surprised what stores have interesting inventory. And it may be a store where you're like, oh, no, not in a million years. And you go in and it's like, oh, my goodness, look at this. because you go on your phone and you check and you go, this can make me money. What the heck? Let's buy a few and let's check this. Does that make sense, you guys? So type in market, M-A-R-K-E-T, and get the tips. What you're looking for, again, is sub niches, small niches where you're not up against hundreds and thousands of sellers that are selling the same item. You're looking for things that are going to make you steady money, regular money that not everybody has discovered. Okay? Any questions? Hi, you guys. It's so good to see everybody. Hi, hi, hi. How are you? Hi, Melinda. How are you? Good. So any quick questions? Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. I've got sales to pack. Yay! I'm always so grateful for my sales, for my customers, because without them, I don't have a business. But good to see you guys. Yes. So type in market, M-A-R-K-E-T, to get those. And again, you're looking for the sub niches. You know, always keep an ear out, keep an eye out for things that seem to be hot sellers. Then go within that and see if there's any little nooks and crannies that you can fit yourself into, because that's what's going to make you the steady money. So many sellers that I know that make really, really, really good money is because they've discovered all these great little niches, and then they dive into the niche. So once you discover something, it's like, yay, then dive into it. It's like, okay, what about this? And what about this? And what about this that relates to it? Okay, you guys, I'm so glad to help you. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye.